So welcome back to another episode of Basic Typography Tutorials. And no, you are not in primary school. We are not learning the letters of the alphabet anymore. You don't have to read A to Z anymore. You're just learning how to make A to Z in the simplest way possible with typography grids. So on the last videos, I explained grids. I just said a little bit about grids. If you remember that video, where I just showed you how the letter I can be easily made using grid. So because we've made the letter I, we're already one less down, but we're not completely one down, because if you don't know, or rather you don't understand what it is, then you don't know anything about the letter I. So on this tutorial, we'll be going from letter A to letter Z, but we'll not be doing all of it in one video. We'll be doing it one after the other. I want to pick up the most basic thing. I said something about curves and circles. So how do you understand grid? Let's put it like this. So grids are a measurement of squares. They are like, looks like I explained raster design. Grids are like your pixels. They are like the pixels. If you notice, they are all equal square, just like pixels are equal square. But the difference is, because you are using the vector graphics design software, it will never distort until you export it as an image. And if you're exporting it as an image, you need to export it to a certain quality so it doesn't distort at different standards. But that's a topic for another day. Now, if you notice something about these letters, a lot of them they all look nice, legible, and beautiful, like typography says. The difference is the fact that there are some that are wider than others, and then there are some that are slimmer than others, like the letter I, for example, being the slimmest and the thinnest letter in the alphabet, is by far one of the easiest letters to make. But in this case, this is not the very basic grid system typography. So the grid system typography, the letter I, the capital letter I, is actually written like this. Now, let's just use this particular grid. So the basic letter I is written like this. The uppercase letter I is written like this. The smaller case letter I, on the other hand, pardon me, I'll need to duplicate this, so we'll have two of it, and I'll have to do that letter I again, so sorry about that. All right, let's just use the erase builder. So this is the basic letter I. It could also be written, it could also be done in another format, which is this. Oh yeah, which is this. Sorry. All right, so these are the two uppercase I, but this is the better I, the better uppercase I, which is majorly used by basic designing. This is a little bit stylized, but you won't notice it. So this is this right here, and this is the basic. So the simplest letters are those. If you notice on this place, you'd see that some of the letters have curves in them, while some have absolutely no curve. So for this tutorial, we'll be taking out, this has curve, this has no curve, but there's a little bit of complexity to this. So we'll be taking out the basic, the very, very basic, that have extremely straight lines that deal with 90 and 0 degrees, or let's just say 180 degree, which is a straight line, and a 90 degree, which is a vertical and horizontal line. So dealing with letters that are just simply vertical and horizontal lines is very, very simple. So I would create a second artboard right here, and we are going to take this to this place. Now the simplest letters, we already made the I. Simplest letters to make are letters that they all come from the I. They all look like the I, the letter I. So if you're looking at this I carefully, I guess you are seeing something else, another letter of its own. It's the letter T. I'll put that side by side. So basically what you're doing when it comes to the basic grid system is you're simply trying to understand how these grids, how letters can be created out of grids. Now the reason why you use the grid is to get a uniform width. A uniform width is for the uniformity. A very, very standard width that will be enough. That will be proper and accurate all through the work. That would give the work a very, very nice outlook. So in creating the basic letters, let's just create all the letters that has to do with 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So when I say 90 degrees, I mean straight line like this and a straight line like this, and absolutely nothing else. They have no turns whatsoever. So we have the letter E, F, H, I. Do not say K. K is not 90 degree. The letter L, N is not a 90 degree. Letter P is simple, but it has curves, so we've not gotten to the curves. And T. So, and then X, these are not 90 degrees, these are not 90 degrees. So what we are creating is, let's just write them down so we do not forget. F, the E, the F, the H, the I, the L, not the M, and the T. Just the quick straight line letters that have absolutely no curves in them and no extra tones in them. So basically there are three of them. There's the one that have straight lines, no curves. There's one that have straight line and no curves. They are the ones that have, is it 3 or 4? Let's see if there are 3 or 4. There are letters that have straight lines, no curves. There are letters that have straight lines, no curves, and yet a little bit of rotations with them. Those are the X, Y. Those are the M, the N, the Z. They are the ones that are straight lines with no curve. And then the rest, they are the ones that have straight lines and little curves, which is the rest of them entirely actually. The U, the P, the O, the Q, the R. These ones are the ones that have the lines and the curves. So they are the ones that have, like I said, just these 2 degrees. They are the ones that have a combination of, they are the ones that have a combination of 1, 2, 3, and then they're the ones that have the combination of 1, 2, 3, 4. So those 4 things are what makes these letters appear. But we'll get to that. We'll first deal with all of this today, and then for the next episode we'll deal with these 3, and then for the last episode we'll deal with the ones that have the curves in it. So understanding the basics from here you can start to figure out, when you get to understand all the way to this part, you can now start to see how beautification of lines and designs and beautification of letters also come into play in calligraphy art. Now, you see, we've made the I, we've made the T, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. So let's get down to it. For the H, you just simply start from the top, like the letter H, all the way down, and the edge all the way down. We've gotten both edges, and then a line straight between. That's for the letter H. For the letter F, the line goes straight and down, and then straight again. The basic letter F, or the basic alphabet F. The next is the E. The E is straight, straight, and straight. And then there's this. Simple. The letter L is this. So understanding this very basic part makes it far more easier for you to create artworks without having to go looking for a download or something. You could create whatever artwork you want to create. Alright, so EFHILT, the simplest form of calligraphy arts that could be done. Sorry, did I say calligraphy? Not to be mistaken for calligraphy. For you to understand the differences, let's ask the Bing app. You'll see in a short while that calligraphy and typography are two different things. Oh, it's right here, so let's just click on it. So typography is computer generated and is presented on fonts and typefaces, while calligraphy, on the other hand, involves manual handwriting. Now, the difference between calligraphy is always done by hand using pen, brushes, and markers, but you could also do this exact thing we've done on a grid system notebook. You just shade the exact places that were shaded and leave the places that are empty. I actually learned this on a piece of paper before I came to use it on system. I learned it as a child. So calligraphy is computer generated. It involves arrangement of letters to make written language legible. On the other hand, typography is computer generated and based on present fonts and typefaces, while calligraphy is handwritten and it's not all about legibility. That's the difference. It's more about examining your speed, time, direction, and sequence. So they are not to be mistaken for each other. Typography is not calligraphy, calligraphy is not typography. You could create typography by both hand and calligraphy. You could also create, since system programs have become so good, you can now also create typography arts and calligraphy arts on systems. So we won't go into that. There is a calligraphic pen if you want to use it on Adobe, in fact not just on Adobe, on almost any designing software. I can't remember where it is on my system, but we have it. I just can't remember exactly where it is on the system again. but there's a calligraphy art pen on Adobe if you want to use it, and you'd still make those calligraphic designs. You just have to watch your weight, and if but you will need a pen and tablet to do that. So thanks for watching this episode. We'll go on to the next episode where we will take on the more difficult letters that have straight lines but angled lines. Yeah, that's the word, angled lines, lines with angles and turns to it. See you on the next video.